You are listening to a Dynamicworksproductions podcast. This show is available on iTunes, Stitcher Radio Network, and many, many more podcast services around the world. You can find all our content, music, videos, books, podcasts, and more on our website, www.dynamicworksproductions.com. Have questions, comments, or concerns for us? Head on over to the social tab on www.dynamicworksproductions.com if you'd like to talk to us. Now, on with the show. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Fork in Your Ear podcast. I'm your host, as always, author, podcaster, and gamer, Tim K.A. Trotter. Joining me, as per usual, is the one, the only, the natiest of foos, Nate Foo.
Hi.
And then we have a cavalcade of guests waiting in the wings. We have comic book writer John Horsley.
Hey.
We have his brother, Kenrick.
Uncle.
I fucked that up. That's fine. His not
awesome.
brother, but his uncle. Kenrick.
Kind of almost like a brother, but not.
His brother uncle, if you will.
Grunkle?
Yeah, his
Grunkle.
grunkle. And then I don't even know which visit this is on this show. I've lost count at this point. The man with a million stories and probably a million comics, Greg Smith.
Oh, hi. I'm back again.
Yeah, we just can't seem to get rid of you.
This guy again? Man.
Yeah, I got my Mystic Places book, so I'm gonna find a place and I'm gonna go.
Okay, fair enough.
All right, see you.
Classic.
Good times, Greg. Good times.
All right, so we have a little bit of a special introduction to this week's show. John Horsley and Kenrick are going to be talking about a little comic book that is on the Kickstarters right now. So why don't you tell us a little bit about this Herculeanly large comic book?
Well, I don't know if it's the word I'd use for it, but it is a comic book, and it is big, I guess.
It is a comic.
It is a comic. Technically, it is a comic. It follows. It meets most of the requirements to be a comic book. So,
Okay.
It's called JONLY NONLY. It's a series that I created a long time ago over a joke about my actual name. And my wife drew some characters, and I took them into Illustrator, made vector comics out of them, and then started making jokes with them for 15 years. And then I decided to put them into a comic book format and kind of rewrote everything to be comic-esque. So there's like a loose story throughout the issues, but mostly it's just a lot of jokes, a lot of potty humor, a lot of dick and fart jokes, some educational stuff in there, but mostly it's just a way to make fun of my friends and myself.
Okay.
So
It's
all
South
the
Park meets Trailer
characters
Park.
are based off of real people, I'm assuming?
Yeah, actually,
Loosely.
yes, yeah, absolutely. So
How loose?
It's gotten looser as time gone on, though.
Okay.
Gotcha.
it has,
So which one are you, Kenrick?
I'm not in
Okay.
there at all.
Okay.
No.
Yeah.
Not
So,
yet.
yeah, it's based off of all my friends from like college, high school. So,
Okay.
because when I started this, the history is like in 2003, I made a comic called Y2CL, which was me and my friends, me just basically making fun of my friends and myself. And I just used all of our real names because I was so creative back then. So all the characters were just named after, like, mine was JN, and then there was Jeff and Calvin and Nick and Keppa, all of our real names. And then when we created JONLY NONLY, which I'll tell the story of that name in a little bit, my wife named the character after me JONLY NONLY, and then she named Jeff Jeffers and Calvin Calvarina. So they all got these ridiculous names, and then we kind of just stuck with that moving forward for the other characters we made after that, like Earth and K-Dizzle and Garmy and Berto and Dillarino. So they all got ridiculous names to go with it to fit the insanity of the series.
Okay, fair enough. And so why did your wife call you Nonly?
So she didn't. So it comes from, so my name is, my actual name is letter J. It's just the letter J.
Oh,
my middle name
like
is
Homer
letter
J.
N.
Simpson.
Yeah, just the letters, right? And I'm the third, so my dad is the same name, and so does my grandfather. In the late 70s, my dad was getting a Social Security card over the phone. He needed to get a new one. And they asked him to spell his name. And he said, okay, it is J only, N only, Horsley Jr. And it came in the mail 3 weeks later, and it said JONLY NONLY Horsley. So the joke always is spell your name, J only, JONLY. So she drew a comic strip, and basically what happened is when she was pregnant with our daughter, we were going in for the birth, and the nurse comes in and goes, we'll be with you in a second. The doctor is in a C-section. And my wife and all of her pregnancy brains goes, oh, what section are we in? And that was the birth of Joel. That was the first JONLY NONLY joke. Because later on, she ended up drawing with the characters and doing a comic. It's like, that's funny. I'm going to use this.
You have to understand Kaylee, his wife, because when John's dad died, they were rolling him out of the living room. He had just passed.
Yeah.
And they had started watching The Emperor's New Clothes, the Disney version, and they read it. And they had watched it like 20 times in a row with all the kids. And of course, she thinks at the time, as he's going away, well, you can't get any deader than that, mimicking the movie. And Johnny's like, are you fucking kidding me right now? So you can kind of see the sense of humor of where this ends up going.
Okay, fair enough. And so what my understanding is that since it's been being written for many, many, many years, what prompted you to collect them and I don't know, recatalog them into a large
He
volume?
didn't just recatalog them. He rewrote scenes, he updated it, and then he updated a lot of the art, and he put a lot of work into it. Matter of fact, he was supposed to be working on my book, and he's like, oh yeah, I'm going to work on your book. And then he says, oh, I didn't have time, man, because he colored my Kickstarter. We just had a successful one with it, but he colored it. And every night I'd be like, hey, did you get page, whatever page we were working on? Is it done? You get he goes, oh yeah, I worked on the flats. I didn't really get a lot done, but check out these next 3 books that I just did in this week for JONLY NONLY that I'm working on every day. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding? We've been working on this book. You made my book late.
I did. I really did. That was the reason I was late for sure.
Point is, put a lot of work into it.
Yeah, what prompted me to do it is I did 24-hour comic day back in 2015, 2016, and I used this series to do 24-hour comic book day because it's relatively easy for me to make, right? And I really enjoyed, instead of doing them in like a 2-3 panel strip format, doing it in a full page sequential format. I had a lot of fun doing that. So then in like late 17, early 2018, I had the idea with, I'm going to take all of the old stuff, go through it, pull out the stuff I think is still funny, and make it into comic books and just see kind of where that goes. It was mostly an exercise to just do it for myself, because I didn't really plan on releasing these books originally. So I ended up doing like the first 10 issues, like 240 pages of this, by rewriting stuff, adding new stuff, like kind of making each issue have its own theme. I won't say story so much, I'll say theme, because it's not really stories. There's kind of a story throughout each issue, but it's loosely based, right? So I did all that, and then I started working on my other book, the Irons Anthology, and I kind of pushed this to the side, did the Irons Anthology through 2019, 2020, which was a horror series, and then got that done. And then throughout all of this time, I had 3 back surgeries. I got really sick. I had a spinal infection. I had a bunch of stuff going on with my health and stuff like that. And so all of my creative stuff kind of sat and did nothing. And I just kind of, the only thing I really did was podcasting with Kendrick.
Okay.
Right. But earlier this year or late last year, I kind of got the bug again to get back into creative stuff. And I got diagnosed with ADHD finally and got on some stuff to like manage that, to be able to fucking focus.
Mm-hmm.
And within that, I've been able to finish this first chapter, which is 5 issues. I finished the next chapter, which is another 5 issues. And then I wrote 17 more issues of JONLY and NONLY this year. And I finished my novel, which I've been working on for 20 years. And
Nice.
as Greg and Kendrick know, I also did 12 issues of another series, which I haven't even talked about anywhere yet. So I've been writing a ton this year. And kind of what prompted me to do this one now is I just want to it's done, finished, and I want to just release it, get it out there, get it to where it's done. And because if I print it and release it, I won't go back and work on it again.
Sure.
Because
yeah,
the first 5 issues I have literally gone through and redone no less than 10 times.
Sure.
In the last 10 years. So that's kind of, I just kind of want to get them done. And I personally love these books, and they hold a deep spot in my heart. I think they're hilarious. They're inappropriate. They're so incredibly stupid, but I love them so much.
Okay. Now to roll it way the fuck back to that whole thing there, Kenrick said something about coloring flats. I've never made a comic book before. I don't know what the fuck that means.
So flatting is when you color a book,
okay,
and you're flatting it, and you're just putting in the base colors, no details.
Okay,
it's getting colors on the page in the spaces need to go. Usually, some people flat with like colors that they're not going to use. They just flat with random colors, and I flat with colors I want to use. And then you flat it all out, and then you go back over it and do all the detail on top of that. So I did the book by flatting it all first, and then go back into the detail for it afterwards.
Okay,
makes sense.
Gotcha.
Which has much better art than JONLY and NONLY, because the JONLY and NONLY art is not necessarily the best art that's out there, but I love it.
What are you talking about? JONLY and NONLY is fantastic art.
It does, especially
it's Bart Sears level art. Come on.
Yeah, Bart Sears.
It's great.
Well, and then so, because Greg didn't really tell me too much about yourself there, John. So, are you a full-time comic book creator, or is this the
I wish.
the mountainside gig to appease the creative juices? And
so I work in tech. I work in the tech world. I have for 16 years now.
Okay.
But I've always been a writer. I've always been an artist. I was a musician. I was in bands. I was in punk bands and alt bands for like 10 years and recorded and toured. And I did comics for a long time, web comics. I did web comics from 2003 to 2016, like pretty much daily releases from web comic series. I've always been writing. I've always been drawing stuff and doing creative stuff. So I've done on the side, but I've never pursued it full time, mostly because it's a lot of work and I have kids. I need to make sure that they eat. So I have the full-time job to pay for all my bills and my food for the kids. And then I have this is my creative outlet to get all of this crazy things in my head out onto paper and for the people to see if they want to see it.
Excellent.
The joys of the ADHD brain.
Yeah, exactly.
And then because Greg also didn't particularly prep me because Krennic was a late addition. How is your brother uncle involved in all of this?
Brunkle.
So when it comes to JONLY and NONLY, it's a lot of I send stuff to him to read and look over, and he says, "I don't understand this. I don't get this." I said, "Good, then it's good. You're doing a good job."
I'm brutally honest.
He's brutally honest about it, which is great. And we have him and I together created a publishing company called Spoilerverse Comics. He's the co-publisher, and I'm the co-publisher of it. And we kind of go work on our books together and make sure we release the stuff that we both are proud of and behind and stuff like that.
Okay. Yeah. Since Greg also didn't tell me much about that.
Surprise!
Why don't you? Yeah, this is par for the fucking course.
Right. Good job, Greg.
I thought you were going to ask in the chat.
Ask in the chat as I'm dealing with mic difficulties, trying to get a microphone working before the show starts. I don't think so.
Oh,
So, how many comics are under this spoilerverse? Spoilerverse? Am I getting that
Yeah.
correctly?
Yeah.
Spoilerverse
Yeah.
imprint brand, whatever you want to call it.
Well, right now we have Ein's Anthology,
Okay.
which it was really the first one. I mean, it is, but it isn't because
Right.
it was already done. It was done under just John by himself back in, what was that, 2019?
Okay.
Yeah.
And then we just had a successful campaign with Supernatural Baby Detective,
Okay.
which I wrote, and Ram Sandoval did the art. And I don't know, do you know the comic book industry very well?
Not particularly, but I am actually familiar with Supernatural Baby Detective because
Oh,
Greg
really?
has. I think he was talking to me about it. God,
Oh, nice.
September?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah,
that sounds
about the right
sounds about
time,
right.
yep.
And
Yeah.
I remember telling him on the phone, I was like, "That is the dumbest fucking title I've ever heard." But then,
It
to
is.
his credit, he showed me the Kickstarter page, and I looked at it, and I was like, "Actually, that looks pretty fucking good." I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I changed my tune considerably on it.
If you didn't back it, let me know and we'll send you a digital copy so you can read it.
Okay. I did not back it.
That's okay. It's okay, dude. I mean, really, same with Nate. If you want a digital copy,
For
we'll
sure.
send it to you.
Sure.
It's the thing is, the title, just once you read it, you're like, I don't know how you could call it anything else. And the story came
Sure.
because I'm pretty sure it was Michael Tanner we were talking with, and I like to say words that don't make sense. You know what I mean?
That's fine.
Kind of jumble them together, and that was one that came together.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the
Most
hyphen
things.
myself, personally.
Yeah, and I don't know, it made me laugh, and I'm always in the bag for supernatural detective stuff like Hellboy, Constantine. I love all that stuff.
When Greg pitched the comic to me, there was none of that shit. He's like, "Okay, Tim, baby, supernatural detective, huh?" And I was just like, "What?"
That's okay. When I told him my pitch and I gave him the elevator, he's like, yeah, that's great. But Supernatural Baby Killer, that's a book.
Yes.
And I was like, no.
Not this book.
But so that one's it goes to print on Monday, which is exciting.
That's great.
Yeah, and we've already started the second one, which is great. We should get our first sets of art coming this week. And then we have Supernatural, JONLY, NONLY, Ein's Anthology, and then we just started working on a book called Capone's Vault. And that's going to be
exactly what it sounds like.
Exactly.
Nope.
No, it is, but it's not. So when I say Capone's Vault, what do you think of?
I mean, I think of Al Capone's Vault. That's what I think of.
And you think of who?
Think of Al Capone and
Geraldo Rivera.
Sure.
Yeah, Geraldo Rivera, right?
Sure.
Do you know that story?
I don't know that story particularly well.
Okay,
you might not be old enough. Yeah.
Old enough. Yeah. So it's 1987, 1988. Geraldo Rivera had a special, and it was like 20 million people tuned in to watch Geraldo Rivera open up Capone's vault that they found in Chicago, and they're like, "This is Al Capone's vault. It's never been opened." They were like so excited, and he drilled into it. 20 million people watched this, and as they opened it up, there was nothing inside. They found like a bottle. They found like a can of beer or something. That was it. And it was like this huge disappointment. He was like the laughingstock of reporting for like 15 years because of this. And so I came up with a concept, and I told John, and he was like, "Oh, let's do this." So John is actually writing the initial, and then we're going to start pushing it out, and Greg's going to unfortunately have to edit it.
Yeah, sadly.
No, so we're actually looking for artists.
Sounds like they just called you their bitch, Greg.
Sadly. Well, the fun part
you're
when,
not wrong.
When they do present these scripts, and I read through them, and I look over it, and I'm like, this is really fantastic for a third grader. I'm amazed that you can put the words together. I am so surprised that, wow, my lights came on. I'm so no, that's them. Surprised the lights came on. But it is
Because you
fun
got an
to.
idea.
Oh, I got an idea.
In the words of my Jewish grandmother, it's a choice.
It's a choice. We have other books too that I don't think John's ready to announce yet.
Okay, that's fine. I don't need to pry all of your secrets out.
Yeah,
it's fine.
We'll have to we will have to meet back here when that time comes.
Yeah.
A little more prepared next time, Greg.
Hey, I only prepare with what I'm prepared with, and
How long have you known these gentlemen? Greg?
You had all the material, Greg. You had all the material for this.
Oh my God, you did send over a press release.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
I made an entire press page on my website for this.
Oh yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Dang.
I know. My bad.
You need to drop the ball there, buddy.
Expectations. Execution.
Since I've never done a Kickstarter for a comic, let alone a comic myself, and you guys clearly know parts and have done stuff within that realm. What are your expectations as far as, I don't know, reader reactions or profits, or like, what do you guys like look for? Is it getting the product out there and just like knowing that it's there and it's available for people to consume or read or look at, or is there also like a, yes, I really want that, but I also, I want to get new rims this year, so I don't know.
Yeah, there's no profit.
There's no
in
profit
comic
in
books.
comics.
Yeah,
no profit.
Yeah.
Not at an independent level like this, and really, and the people that you would think are well known, they're still struggling too. It's a hard industry. You have to have something really, really break through, and there's always a chance of that. But I don't think that we're always hopeful something takes off.
Sure.
But but really we just love doing it. It's just a lot of fun. The collaboration is a lot of fun. JONLY NONLY is a fun book. I mean, if you're into South Park and you like the Trailer Park Boys, and that's the realm that it's in,
Okay.
Right.
And so it's like South Park graduated high school, and they're like that's how I think of them all in their 20s, like they just got out of college maybe, and they're living their life and they're being fucking weirdos and they're doing weird and strange things happens to them, and it's a little frantic in its delivery. So
I'm still trying to figure out the tea kettle with the Beretta though.
Well, yeah, John, what's the tea kettle with the Beretta?
Oh God.
Well, I guess before you get into it, full disclosure, compared to all the other times that we've attempted to hawk some Kickstarters for Greg and his various projects that he's associated with, me and Nate, we actually received a pre-release copy, or pretty much final copy, which is
pretty much final, yeah.
Which is unusual for us because we never get that. Usually, it's just like, yeah, sounds good of the thing you're talking about.
Yeah, no, I sent over the full 150 page. Well, it's missing a couple of the bonus pages, but all 5 issues are in the thing.
Right.
Sure.
Yeah. So the pot, leaf, the kettle, and the gun and the phone. This is ridiculous to kind of explain. If you read the whole book, it's all explained in the captions of like who they are, where they come from.
Mm-hmm.
But it's kind of long-winded. So the short answer is, I used to do a comic strip called Inanimate, which was basically me, based on the joke, the pot calls the kettle black, but it's a pot leaf and a black kettle, right? Mm-hmm. And then I made a whole comic series out of that, of strips. And then I did crossovers with my own characters because they're like, I'm going to cross stuff over. Nobody knows these characters. Nobody cares. But it's funny to me that I'm crossing over my own characters nobody else knows.
Sure.
And I even talk about that in the comic. So like the second issue of JONLY NONLY is a Christmas crossover episode with like 4 of my other webcomics that I did back in the day. And the pot, the gun, the Beretta is actually alive. He talks too. And
crossover with comics that don't exist.
Talks. Yeah. I mean, they exist on my computer here, but you can't read them anywhere else. So
They
that's what
exist
they're
in your mind, man.
I love it. It's like, and again, like the one thing, Tim sent this over, and then you sent that full thing, and I did just a cursory scan through, because it's like, okay, we're night of podcast. I'm not reading 5 issues, so I just kind of did a scan through, and it's just like I look at Tim, I go, this is unique. This is not something, and I don't mean that in a derogatory, but it's just one of those I have never seen anything like this, and I don't know that I like it or hate it. And then I'm going through, and there's just so many irreverent things in here. It's just like it caught my attention enough to go, all right, I have a pre-release copy. I'm going to sit down and read this.
Nice. Yeah, it's definitely unique. That's like my hardest part of this book, is trying to sell it, trying to talk about it, because I don't know if there's any other books out there like JONLY NONLY, because it's very its own thing.
There's probably a reason for that.
Yeah, that seems to be a theme with all the comics we put out.
I think the things for me that it reminded me of was, I mean, it very much is, they existed as webcomics, and I definitely see that in their origin, in their art style. It reminds me of, stuff in the early 2000s and stuff like Penny Arcade and what was the one with the demon girl? I can't remember. She always murders something in every panel or something. I was trying to remember what it was. I rediscovered it recently. It's an old webcomic, but it's still running apparently. But yeah, no, it reminds
Greg is hard at thought.
Like Devil Wears Panties.
You look a little constipated, Greg.
No, like Devil Wears Panties. I'm wondering if that's the one. No.
It was a God, I'm trying to remember. It's like a little. It's black and white, and then red when there's blood, which is always inevitable, because it's like a little like Asian schoolgirl with a knife, and she's like constantly like courting demons and stuff, and it's like cute but dark in like a, she's like, cutting somebody's, face off to feed it to her, evil demon monster or something. I don't know.
Normal.
Yeah, sounds totally normal, right?
Yeah.
Sounds fun.
Typical day.
Yeah.
Indeed. So I think something that I appreciated about it, and since obviously I did know that it was a collection, and not to brag on the other projects that Greg has been involved in, but I enjoyed that it was a good, hearty length in terms of the page count and stuff.
That's your selling trip right there, Johnny. It's a good hearty length.
I mean,
it's got a lot of pages, guys.
I love it.
It's so big.
We can put that out as a press.
Go for it.
It's a good hearty length.
The Fork in Your Ear podcast. It's a good hearty length.
Most Kickstarters are like, here's an issue, or here's 2 issues. It's very lean.
Yeah. Well, that's easy to explain. Johnny
he's also
did all
been
of this
doing
work
it since forever.
Yeah.
No, that
makes
total sense.
It's a tough one, because when it's like when we're doing our other comics, they're 24 pages is a normal length for an independent. 22 if you're getting it from one of the big 3, and for an independent to do 24, we just spent over $5,000 getting a comic book ready. You know what I mean? One issue. Yeah. And so then by the time, if you start taking that out, and one issue is 24 pages, and we spent that kind of money trying to get it to that point, then you can start to see why it costs what it costs. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, I mean, something that I've always hit on whenever we've done these interviews for Kickstarters and stuff over the years is, having been a self-published author myself, it's like it's not just you fucking click a button. It's like, okay, well, you gotta fucking pay an artist, and you're probably paying someone to typeface it. You're going through all of these different motions and things to create a product, so that it can exist, digitally or in somebody's hands, just because, like the thing you said over says .pdf, somebody had to fucking make that shit, like it's not
I
magic,
made that shit.
Yeah. Well, like you got to plot it, you write it, then you have to get a penciler, inker, and that might be 2 people, or if you're lucky, it's 1 person, and then a colorist. Or if you're lucky, you might find someone that can do all 3, but you might not want that based on style. And then you have to get a letterer and an editor, and then and then a printer.
Sure.
It just keeps going.
And the beauty of JONLY NONLY is I did all of it. I did all of it myself. Every step.
And it shows.
I know. Look, I wasn't.
But it's a hardy length.
I'm just thinking to myself, like, all the other comics come up short, but JONLY NONLY.
It's a hardy
It's
length.
a hardy thing.
That's going on a campaign tonight, just so we're aware. Just so we're
That's
fair.
totally fine. Take it.
With JONLY, with his all sorts of sexiness shirt.
Yeah, exactly.
Which that better be merch. I'm sorry.
Oh, you can buy that shirt. You can buy the shirt. It's on the website. Yeah.
It's funny when you see the matching underwear, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, he has matching underwear.
Okay.
He sent it to. I'm like, what? Did you do this?
Actually, no joke. I'm not joking. So side note, Dan is actually offered to provide underwear for your thing.
What?
I don't
Who's
know
Dan?
if it's still on. I don't know if it's still on the table or not, but he was like going off about. I got some underwear. I think that might work for this. For your big I'm gonna go nude thing, you know, like, so you got 2 different cover reveals. So the non-nude
variant cover.
the nude variant.
Yeah.
So then you go non-nude but with underwear and nude without.
Because nude variants seem to sell really well on TikTok or on TikTok.
On TikTok.
I mean,
Man, when did TikTok get into comic books? It's a whole untapped market.
It is.
Oh man.
What I was gonna say was, since you are doing everything yourself, and I don't have a frame of reference for your other projects, do you do everything on the other projects yourself as well, or no?
No.
So then, when it comes to JONLY NONLY, like, do you find having like that total control is great or empowering? Or is it just, fuck, I have to do it because nobody else will?
So for JONLY NONLY, I don't know if, at least for these first 10 issues, if they could have been done any other way.
Okay.
Because the way I make these so much, like once they're in the format of where I'm putting them in the sequentials like this and redo, I'm not counting the web comics basically, is I just kind of like, for lack of a better term, throw shit on a page, move shit around, see what works, see if my jokes work. If they don't, I rewrite them, add new stuff, finish the book, do the next book, go back to the first book, reread it, fix things, remove things. So it's like a heavy editing process of, like, when I write it, it's not what I'm writing is not going to be the final page, right? The final page is going to be after I go over and rewrite things and add shit to it. Like,
sure, and Lucas said about 3 times, like, right?
That's actually a fucking joke in the book of how I Lucas them.
That's why I said it, man.
References to me.
That's why I said it.
Yeah. But for these books, I mean, I have to do all myself, right? I have to, like, go through it, do all the main stuff myself. Now I have a little secret. There is, like, future issues down the line of JONLY that I've written that actually somebody else is drawing, but it's because they have to. For those issues to work, they have to be drawn by somebody, and I didn't want to draw because while I love drawing and I am a decent artist, and I believe that I'm relatively good at it, I loathe drawing sequential art. I just do not find any fun in it whatsoever. I do it when I need to, or when it's something I really want to, but I have found that the biggest delay in something getting done for me is if I'm doing, like, the panels in each page, hand by hand. But if I'm doing it like this, which JONLY NONLY book is fun, or if I'm writing it, or if I'm coloring it, it's fine. Or even if I just ink it, if I'm just doing the inking for it, that's good too. But I don't want to actually draw the page. There's not enough dopamine reward in that for me, so I just have to, like, do the parts that I can actually do and actually find enjoyable and do.
Sure, fair enough. And so I guess Greg, you're editing this repository of years of webcomics.
Yes.
How is that different from your normal or more usual comic book editing duties that you've done in the
So
past?
my normal comic book editing stuff is working with a creator that I'm sharing the writing responsibility with, and we're working on a story, and say like I'm working with Travis on Starlight, or Mike on well, any project, but we're working on stuff, and it's all right, cool, I understand what we're going for here. I'm gonna go back through and trim this, make these suggestions and stuff like that, redline some of these things after we go back through,
Mhm.
and maybe get some notes from another editor, and then make my own, like, fight it or go with it type situation. It's like sometimes I'll just go back through, and we're either gonna like stick the ground on it, or figure out a new line and write some suggestions and stuff. Writing or editing someone else's work is, and especially JONLY NONLY, is seeing I want to say a 90% finished product,
Mhm.
and going back and saying, okay, it's literally all done. What works and what doesn't work,
Right.
because it's really, at this point, it's something that he's completed.
Mhm.
And in all honesty, I mean, like, I was introduced to the book series, like, I want to say, like, in 2015. I think my wife brought me home a copy of one of these books. She went to a show, sat next to John, and she got a copy and said, "Oh, I think my husband will like this." And sure enough, I was like, "This is the dumb kind of stuff I like." So I was like, "Who is this guy?" And here we are. Um, but yeah, going through it and then seeing what kind of stuff actually in 2023 fits, right? Fits the what what kind of stuff can pass muster in this day and
Right.
age,
What
because
still
some,
holds up? Yeah.
yeah,
Some humor doesn't hold up. Yeah.
yeah. So there was a lot of, okay, there's some stuff that's okay, like, these are all this stuff works, um you're gonna have to lose these 3 pages.
Mhm.
This whole joke, you can explain it to me any way you want, but I don't think that if somebody
Right.
else sees this, they're going to take it out of context,
Mhm.
and you're going to become the next Pepe Frog.
Mhm.
Right.
you know,
And again, when
he's like shaking his
like you said,
head.
all your other projects, you were kind of editing in line, so you could kind of guide things out of, within goalposts. Whereas getting something that is completed, you're like, okay, let's puzzle this together and make it work.
Yeah, yeah. And a lot of it's like, as someone else, like, I write, but I also make a lot of memes and stuff like that. So, and I love memeing. I just find it's just like, it is enjoyable. I get that dopamine hit,
I mean,
man.
it's
I
quick
find
gratification, that's for sure.
it is.
Yeah.
You find
Yeah,
a
memeing
quick
foo.
you find a bit of news, and then you just throw some dumb stuff on there, and there you go. But and then just, like, send it off into the internet, and then it comes back like a week later, and you're like, "Oh, I made that." but
Right. You never know when you're going to have that viral moment.
uh, but but my point is, I'm looking at some of John's work that's in JONLY NONLY, and I'm like, oh, there's going to be an ass bag like me that's going to see this panel, and they're going to say, "Ooh, this is a gold mine," and
Hmm.
and I'm like, no, let's just cut that out now. Don't even deal with it later,
Mhm.
because it's not worth it.
Fair.
So
And then going back to John, and I guess really also probably Kenrick, when you have uh, this collection, and it's like 130, 133 pages, like does that present challenges as far as the Kickstarter is concerned in terms of like printing the fucking thing? Because it's,
Oh
like you
yeah, for
said, it's
sure.
not 22, it's
Yeah.
not 24, it's not 32. Like
No.
it's a lot of them.
It makes it a challenge to do it, and to find the pricing right, the price point you got to find, and stuff like that. When I did Ein's Anthology, that Ein's Anthology was a 64-page book.
Okay.
And also and then there was a 112-page hardback version of it as well. So I've already had a little bit of experience doing, there's the hardback right there, doing those kind of books. But for this one, really, a lot of it was, I did the Kickstarter in such a way that if it funds, which it's 71% as of this recording. So and we got 25 days. So I'm pretty confident we're going to fund.
All I'm saying is whenever Greg's brought me Kickstarters, we fund them.
There you go.
Except for that one time on Starlight because Travis hit the fucking thing early. That one doesn't count.
That one doesn't count. It was Benny's.
But yeah, so the rewards, everything is set up to where if I hit my minimum funding goal, I can all printing is covered for everything that I want to do. Mm-hmm. Because I have no other costs, because all the other costs of making the book were all just me making the book, which has already been done.
Sure. Yeah. So that's probably an advantage going into it then.
Huge advantage for me on this book because I don't have to pay an artist. I don't have to pay anybody. I did pay out of pocket for a couple of variant covers because I wanted to have some variant covers. So I paid out of pocket for those, but that wasn't really that much overall.
Sure.
And I figured if I don't get that money back on the Kickstarter, I'll get it back down the road when I sell books at shows and stuff like that. So for JONLY NONLY, it really wasn't a lot of. The biggest thing is I'm a huge anxiety stress person. So I'm like, it's not funding, and blah, blah, blah. And messaging Greg and Kendrick every day, being like, we're only at this percentage. So like, shut up, John, it's fine.
I was the same way. It's hard not to be that way because you can't help but look at it every day going, and then if one person decides to back out, you're like, why the fuck did you back out?
Right.
Yeah. I want to message you until you know.
Yeah. And I'm like, don't do that. Don't do that.
Yeah, don't do that.
Do you understand what the word pledge means? Yeah.
But he was smart. He has a low goal because he just wants to get out unlimited runs where it's out there.
Right.
And then he's got and he gave himself extra days. Mm-hmm. You know.
Yeah. Once it's out in the wild, again, if it falls in the right hands, you have your viral moment and boom, here we go.
You never know.
Yeah. Right.
I mean, the best thing about having John do all the all the art, writing, all that stuff. John's an onist. He does it himself. He works himself all the time, just like that. You know, he's always working himself as an onist, owning it. Mm. Yeah. So I mean,
I was like, an onist? I was like, what? Yeah. I mean, I feel like of the people here, only one person's worked for Oni Press here. I was like,
no,
you're the onist.
No. You got to see the cover,
perhaps.
Oh man, let me see if I can pull it up real quick. So an onist is actually a real word and a term that means something that's hilarious.
Yes, they very much love themselves.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, that's one way to put it.
A lot of self-love.
That's fine. But that also you brought up. I see.
An onist is somebody who loves to masturbate.
Oh, well. Okay, well then I'm probably one of those people. But going back to the Kickstarter. Going back to the Kickstarter thing, an interesting question. Or an interesting thing that Kendrick just said, which I guess I never really thought about, because again, I've never done a Kickstarter. You said he was smart and he gave himself extra days. Like, do you get to set? I don't know. I've never done a Kickstarter. Do you
you
set
can
how many days you do a thing for?
Yeah, 100%. 100%. So if you want to do it 15 days, go do it 15 days or 10 days.
Do that?
Average is 30 days. Johnny did 37 days, I think, or 38 days.
Okay.
36 days. And I did that because I have an ending on my son's birthday. So I thought that'd be cool.
So there you go. Yeah. Okay. I did 30 days and it was, man, I don't know. I think I had 4 days left when I finally funded, and I was tripping out because the last week and a half, I was really worried I wasn't going to fund.
But you did.
But I did.
But you did.
So I guess what's the thought process behind how many days you give yourself, other than things like your kid's birthday and extra time?
That was my process.
That's the whole process.
For us right now, especially for Johnny and I, it's hard when you don't have a built-in audience.
Sure.
Like if you look at like Travis Gibb or Stephen Prince, these are all or Greg with, if he does a book with Tanner, or if he does a book with Travis Webb,
Sure.
they have a built-in audience with their books already.
Mm-hmm.
So when they go to launch something, they put the word out, they have somebody that's already looking for it. Johnny and I, we don't have that right now. So it's okay. How do we find these people? How do we get it in front of them? How do you read the book and look at it and say, I think you have to try to build that profile of who might like that book.
Mm.
And that can be hard because you'll hear people say, well, you got to find your audience. Okay, well, fucking thanks, man. Thanks
but
for
if
that.
it's the first one.
yeah. But if it's the first one, okay,
yeah,
well,
exactly.
but find it, and if you're not, like, I'm not an artist, right? I can't even draw a stick figure.
Oh, dude, I'm
that
right
makes
there with
it
you.
even, it's doubly hard because like an artist can sit and do art shows and talk and draw. That builds a lot of people in. They get into that.
Sure.
And
like, what's writers gonna do? Like, all right, here's some words that I just typed.
Yeah.
This is fascinating.
Yeah, exactly.
I might find that fascinating, but that's because I get it.
Yeah. So we got to think about how do we get engagement? How do we show people that they want to come in, they want to see what we're doing? We have some very unique stories. Iron's anthology is a very unique. There's a lot of anthologies out there right now.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's on I think it's the better side of the anthologies because there's a cohesive story throughout it, not just random stories in a genre, because I kind of hate that because there's so many of them. I'm getting kind of sick of it. But at the same time, that's, some people do a wonderful job. But his has a cohesive story through it. So when you read it, there's something else that's going to happen later on. And then we have, like with mine with Supernatural, I guarantee you've never read a story like this. So when you read it, you'll be like, oh, and it takes a comedic tone, but then also very like, oh, I could see this being a fucked up situation. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then you have JONLY that, luckily for Johnny, we can start to pinpoint the kind of people that will like it, which is 14-year-old Orinus that are out there. But, we just have to get in front of that. We just have to get the book in front of them.
Sure.
And that's the hard part.
Right.
So.
Sure. Absolutely. All right, we're coming up at about 52 minutes here. Did we want to cover anything else, or is there other things to say or pimp about this large girthed project?
Large girthed. That's another one, Johnny. Write that down.
If you like large girth projects and you're an onus, you should go check it out at jonlynonly.com.
Yes.
There you go.
There you go.
Perfect. It's good, hearty length.
Yeah.
You'll love it.
You guys didn't even talk about the special stamps on the covers and the one-offs and the things.
Oh yeah, let's talk about the reward tiers while we're here.
So one of the things that Johnny came up with a genius reward tier. I mean, it really is. It's called the first 10.
Okay.
And so you can get and for our last Kickstarter, it sold out. It sold out in like 10 minutes.
Okay.
It did.
Yeah, it did. And so it's cool because what it is, it's called the first 10, and you get a stamp, a sticker, really, a holographic sticker. I can show you the sticker.
It's so 90s. It's a holographic.
Yes. Very 90s.
Is it scratch and sniff?
Let's see if it'll come in. Yeah. There you go.
Okay.
That's the sticker and what that represents is that you're getting a copy. You'll get one of the first 10 copies hot off the press.
That's a neat idea, actually.
Yeah. Like so that way, and then what we're going to do is we'll handwrite 1 of 10, 2 of 10, 3 of 10. And then you can buy an individual, or actually on the next one, we're not going to do individuals. We're going to do it. We have it where you can get cover A, cover B, and if there's 3 covers, cover A, B, and C, and you can get a matching set of the first 10. So you can get, if you get 2, then you get all of them will be 2 of 10, right? 1 of 10, and then and so that's what the first 10 is. I think we're going to see more Kickstarters ripping that off, which is good. They should. Fine.
Yeah. And on JONLY, you can get it's done to where if you want the first 10, the only way to get the first 10 is to buy a matching set of 1 through 5 of the individual issues.
Okay.
So you can buy either the regular cover or the variant covers, but You can only get the first 10 in a matching set. We decided not to do individuals on this one.
Yeah. The matching sets sell out. The individual ones don't seem to.
Special.
Okay.
It's special.
Cool. Were there other reward tiers or things that they missed talking about there, Greg?
I'm trying to think. What we?
Well, we got the digital comic for $10.
Oh, crap.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You got the
In all of its girthiness.
For 25. Yep. The big book, the girthy book for 30 is up there. There's variant covers of the individual issues for 40. There's a variant cover of the girthy book for I think 35. You can get the girthy trade book with all the individual copies. For
Keep saying girthy.
it's girthy every time.
You
It's just
I said
like man, all the girthy products.
Girthy.
See what you started, Tim?
That's what I do.
Big.
But yeah, there's a bunch of stuff up there. A lot of it's based around the girthy book and the floppy books, but different combinations of that. And then you can get a what there is a if you really want to, there's a 1-of-1 matching set of all 12 book matching numbers.
Okay.
So
Nice.
that's
Okay.
like the big set.
Cool.
But yeah, there's some good stuff up there, and it's fun. I try to keep it to where things were interesting, unique, and also not super expensive because I don't want to make people spend a bunch of money on my stupid book. I want to make them spend good money and enjoy it. And
Sure.
dig it.
Yeah.
Just
absolutely.
remember, if you're a Mike Judge fan, you're a Trailer Park Boys fan, you're a South Park fan, this is right up your alley.
Or in
Right.
betweeners from across the
In-betweeners,
pond. Yeah.
Yeah. In between.
It's
Yeah.
spaced.
Yes, it's got that kind of feel. Like, I mean, honestly, these 3 characters or 4 characters, 5, as it continues to go on, they definitely start to feel. They all feel like you've seen. I mean, you know, people like this. You're like, oh my gosh, but it all has that vibe and feel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, let's wrap it up here. Where can all of our listeners find your good wares there, starting with John? Or where can they connect with you,
So-
socials and such?
Any social media place, Y2CL is me. Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. Y2CL.net is my main website.
Okay.
They can also go to spoilerverse.com for all my books, and Henrik's books are there. And then to check out JONLY and NONLY specifically, just JONLYandNONLY.com, and that'll take you right to the Kickstarter page. And in the future, I'll take you right to a page to buy the book.
Awesome. And then is everything on the Spoilerverse thing there for you, Kenrick, and those projects as
Yeah.
well, or that's basically just where they should go?
Yep. You can go to spoilerverse.com. You can go to supernaturalbabydetective.com or sbdcomic.com. Those will just take you to the Kickstarter that's done now. So, but you can go to
You said that was
Spoilerverse. That'll have.
successful?
Yeah, it was successful.
Okay.
Thank God.
Excellent. Congrats.
And then we print them. I send the big payment on Monday for the printing to
the big
begin.
payment.
Yeah.
Is it a
Yeah.
girthy payment?
It's a girthy. It's long. It makes me cry when I insert it into.
Whoa!
It's terrible. No, but I'm excited.
It makes you
you
cry
get
when
excited
you're
with
inserting.
big girthy
I
things.
feel like you might be doing something wrong, but I don't know. Some people like
but
that.
no, we're super
down a little
excited
bit.
because
Slow down.
it'll come in. We'll get the books in, and then we'll start shipping out all the physical rewards that people pledge to. So that'll be a lot of fun. The first 10, the pins, all the fun stuff.
Once it starts moving, that's
the goodie bags, like all the digital rewards have been set out, but the physical ones will be nice to get done.
Awesome. And was there anything you wanted to pimp as well, Greg, or just these things?
Just these things.
What?
Just
What about
these
this
things.
thing?
What thing?
What about that zero thing?
Oh,
Zero thing?
you want me to? Okay.
You should.
Okay.
I mean, come on.
I was.
Give us the Greg pitch.
But give us the good Greg pitch.
The good Greg pitch. I can't. I don't even.
Give us frantic Greg.
Oh my God, Frantic Greg.
But Frantic Greg in front of the mic, like not away from it.
All right, so Mike Tanner from
Mhm.
Junior Braves and I, my creator bud, who I've worked with for good God decades,
and has been on this show.
More frantic.
and yeah, more frantic. Oh my God. Okay, so guys,
He's a very excitable
fellow.
fellow, I must say.
I'm so excitable. I just crapped myself. You'll never believe.
Yeah,
I talked
accurate.
about poop. I finally got to the pooping.
Fuck. Just
I knew
one
exactly.
fucking podcast with you.
You drinking out of that water bottle?
No. I cannot believe you remember that. Get the fuck out of here. See, like the second or third time he was on the show, folks.
You want to tell?
No, I don't
Okay.
tell him. Talk about the zero thing. What the fuck?
Yeah, we're on borrowed time here, folks.
I'm sorry. I'm just waiting for John's wife to come in and kill him.
She's texting me. She's messaging me right now.
All right, so Absolute Zeros is a book that Mike Tanner and I wrote. It's a little bit, the elevator pitch is Space Camp meets Meatballs, and it's a group of kids that go to a space camp and they're the misfits, if you will. So they're kind of thrown in together and they're trying to make the best of this summer camp experience. And they end up making the best of it. But it's very much, if you've seen the movie, if you like movies like Spaceballs, and if you like Spaceballs, Space Camp, and if you like Meatballs, yeah, that's why I said Spaceballs, because Meatballs, Spaceballs, Space. Then those are it's definitely that kind of feel.
Groovy. When is it coming out? And is it
Comes out
girthy in length?
It comes out in March. It's a graphic novel. The two publishers, it's a dual effort. So the main publisher is Little Brown. It's like one of their first attempts at doing graphic novels. And it's a young adult graphic novel, so it's that mid-reader, great for a 10, 12-year-old kid to jump into. But if anybody knows Junior Braves and Mike and I, our writing style, Tanner and I write in a way that an adult can read it and go, this is written for me, not a child. Gabriel Gomez does the art on it, and if you look at it, you're like, holy crap, this feels like Gravity Falls kind of feel. Like the look of it is that kind of art style. So she's like, when she started throwing art at us, we're like, yeah, this is who we want to work with. So this is it. Yeah. So them and Einhorn Epic Productions is the other production company that's putting everything else together. So we've basically been working with both entities, and it's going to be a really fun release. Einhorn's got shirts, stickers, merch. This is like something that I'm not used to. So I'm usually used to making it all myself and then selling that. So having somebody else like, hey, we've got t-shirts and stickers and we're putting videos together for you and all this other stuff. And yeah, it's like, oh, okay.
That's cool.
So yeah. And then the book release is like through Hachette Media. So that's also weird because you hear like, this. Have you ever listened to an audio book where they're like, this book has been put out by Hachette Audio?
I haven't heard that specific one.
Oh,
usually it's like presented by audible.com.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm talking about like on CDs or something like that. You're listening to it on
CDs,
your
Greg.
I know, right?
Gregory.
CDs, what? No.
Records.
I only listen on floppies, okay?
Yeah. Oh, wow.
3.5.
Yeah, okay.
I like my audiobooks to be 1.5 minutes long before I have to switch.
Not so girthy.
Not so girthy.
Yeah,
not girthy.
Not so girthy at all.
But it'd be a girthy amount of floppies.
Yes.
Yeah.
One audio
That's
book.
for fucking sure.
Stacked. Yeah.
Literally.
That'd be cool. Imagine that. Matt, remember when you used to take pictures on floppies? Wow, what a day and age in our lives. But yeah, no. So they're rolling it out to all the major booksellers and stuff like that. So it's kind of weird to show my grandma that, like, oh yeah, you can buy it at, like Amazon, Barnes and Noble, Target, Walmart, Books a Million, all those.
I mean, that wouldn't be the
cool.
first time for you, though.
Not at Target or Walmart.
Well, you know what I mean.
Yeah. So.
Fair enough.
I mean, yeah.
Will they be doing a digital for the digital people, or is it a?
Yeah. There's a digital, a paperback, and a hardback. So,
oh, wow.
For this issue or this it's a series. So, we're finishing up book 2 right now.
Oh, right on.
Nice.
Very
All right,
cool.
well, let's let Jay get out of here, so he can
thank you guys.
live to fight another
Fair
day.
enough.
Look forward to having you back on the next Kickstarter for Girthy Bruncle.
That's fucking fantastic.
Girthy Bruncle.
You can bleep that out so we don't have anyone sniping it from us.
There you go. That's waiting to be.
I think that's the title of
something
the
that could be
episode.
shown.
There you go.
Girthy Bruncle.
Girthy.
I like it.
Jesus Christ.
I like it.
Thanks so much for having me, guys. I really appreciate it.
Yeah,
right,
absolutely.
Good luck.
Thanks for
Hope you get hope you hit that goal in the next 25 days. I think we will. I think we'll do it. So.
Thank you for listening to a Dynamic Works production podcast. You can find our podcast at www.dynamicworksproductions.com. Feel free to email us at dynamicworks@mac.com.
This is Dominic Armato, the voice of Guybrush Threepwood, and you're listening to a Dynamic Works production podcast.
The Citadel, Arrival, is the first installment in a series of epic science fiction short stories reminiscent of the Pulp Fiction style. It's a fast-paced story that will take you through twists and turns that you will not expect, until they are thrust upon you with all the force, excitement, and chaos of a plasma cannon blast. The story follows Katarl, a nobody cog in the working wheels of a futuristic society run completely by Megacorp, a corporation that carefully runs and manages the lives of the people living under its sphere of power. On one of Katarl's few and far between days off from work, an outing he had hoped would be fun and relaxing turns into an explosive adventure that drags him kicking and screaming into situations and challenges that will make him question every aspect of his life. Watch this colorful tapestry unfurl as Katarl and his newfound allies find their way through this classic, yet oddly surprising tale of good and evil, where nothing is quite what it appears to be. That's The Citadel, Arrival by author Tim K.A. Trotter, available right now on Amazon Kindle Store and iTunes iBookstore for only $2.99. Running my test. Everybody still hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay. Check and make sure this shit's not broke since I just switched to this mic. Alright. Let's see here. Testing
good
1, 2,
old-
3. 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, and 3.
Where's Gregenstein?
Good question. He's probably trying to find his mic. Would be my guess.
Where's my
Very
stuff at?
bad webcam.
Okay, let me.
Oh, white it out. You washed out like crazy.
Oh my god!
You were very white, Greg. In the video, I mean. Motherfucker. Why are these broken?
Indeed.
Piece of shit. 1 second.
We got Greg and his famously bad laptop mic, and everyone else here is running.
What do you?
Yes.
This is not a laptop microphone. This is
Is it earbuds?
No. Well, I got earbuds on, but this is like this is a nice
Is it
Yeah.
a snowball? Is it
No,
a
it's
snowball?
it's a MD.
Great. You can have this. You can have this one.
It's not that one.
This one works great. You can have it.
Yeah, I would.
I mean, maybe
Oh,
I
this
should
looks
give you
great.
this one, Greg. This is what failed me.
It's probably the same one that I'm pulling off the stand right here. I don't know. Can you see it? I can't move it over there.
Nope. Your background remover said, nope, you don't get to see that.
No, you don't get to see it. Well,
Gotcha.
Johnny
It's
used
just that
this
you're
one
far
for
away
years.
from it. That's why.
I did. I used it for over a year, but I had a
Nope.
roaming setup.
Still can't see it. Sorry. Yeah. You guys are screwed.
We don't get to see her, Mike. It's fine.
All right, these are the.
Like I said, it's just that you're far away from it. That's all it
That's
is.
fine.
Is that better?
Yes, actually it is.
Sit right on it.
There you go.
You know, I'll be.
You get up close to it.
Yeah, oh my
Do
God.
it like this, guys.
I want to sit far
All right.
away.
Cool. So it seems like everybody's here. I'm Tim. Over there is Nate, and everybody else knows everybody else. We're gonna start with John for a mic test. Just give me 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 in a low voice, and then a high voice. I'll be monitoring your outputs.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
You're actually a little high on my record.
Put it down.
Yeah, just a smidgen.
There you go.
Try that again, please.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Much better.
1, 2, 3.
Much better. Okay. It's Kenrick is how I say your name? Yes? Okay,
Yep.
cool. So Kenrick, can you do the same?
Yeah. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Okay, cool. All right, Greg,
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
way too quiet. Just beyond.
1, 2, 3.
quiet.
1, 2, 3.
It's garbage. I need you to speak louder or adjust your mic.
Did I mess it up when I was touching it?
Yeah,
Probably.
there we go. Look at that.
Oh man.
How many podcasts are you on again, Greg? I feel like you should know.
I don't generally,
Do you generally do? Yeah.
I don't generally. Yeah, I don't generally do. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Still low. Still not.
It's much better. Do you want to give me a like a
1, 2,
low
3.
and a high?
Oh.
Rather than just one in the middle.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Oh my god, you're doing voices now? Okay.
Isn't that what you wanted?
No. I want you to do goddamn mic check. It's fine.
Need one from me.
It's fine. Oh Christ, what was that? Oh, I actually had this on the calendar. That's what that is. Cool. All right, that's fine. Yes, Nate, go for it.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Okay. On your highs, you're just a smidgen high.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll be back here most of the time, anyways.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Is your rig rolling on yours, Nate?
It is now.
Oh, it is now. Okay. Gotcha. Okay, I'm rolling on my end. Skype backup is rolling. All the things are rolling. Cool. So Greg said, "Yeah, you're fucking stupid fucking
Yay.
button." That's Nate. He likes to annoy me with it.
I love it.
I thought it was somebody's kid in the background.
It very well could have been Nate's kid. That's
Yeah.
for sure. Wouldn't be the first time. That's definitely for sure. So Greg, let me know that John, you've got about an hour on this, yes, before your wife gets mad
Yeah.
and hauls you away. Okay, fair enough.
Pretty much, yeah.
We keep him on for an hour 30 and watch the mayhem happen.
She's my niece. I can tell her to shut the fuck up. It's okay.
Oh.
Yeah, how's that work out for you, Kendrick? She's not going to listen to you.
No, she does though, because I'm her favorite uncle.
You're not wrong. You're not
Fair
wrong.
enough. Okay, cool. So the way we typically do here is I actually scream 1, 2, 3 cut into the microphone. Your give ourselves that nice line for the edit. Nate generally says it with me, so we'll have Nate, and we'll do that. You'll be doing that side of the audio for that. Yes. Yep. As per usual. I'll do a typical introduction for the show, and then I'll probably. Do you guys want to introduce yourselves, or would you prefer me to introduce y'all?
Either way, it doesn't matter to me. It'd be
Okay.
fun
Either way.
Whatever you prefer.
prefer.
Non-committal. Okay, fair enough.
Tim.
It's your show, so it's like, what do you? How do you usually do it?
Whichever. We vary from cast to cast.
I'll make the executive decision. You introduced him.
Who's I'm introducing everybody? Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Fair enough. Okay, cool. All right, is everybody ready?
Ready to go?
Yes.
Okay, sounds good. Nate? In 3, 2, 1. Cut in.
Cut in.
I'll try to get the thing out as fast as possible to assist with that.
Awesome. Thanks so much.
All right.
Boom.
Awesome.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
Thanks. You gone, Greg?
Oh, you're out of here too?
Oh,
fuck you. Okay. That turned out to be more fun than.
Yeah, no, that's good.
All right, I'm stopping the recording.
Yeah, I'm stopping this one too.
All right.